Magnesium doesn't usually get top billing in the nutritional world. It's not trendy like collagen, it doesn't promise eternal youth like resveratrol, and it definitely won't go viral for its taste. But if there were a mineral quietly plotting to reduce your risk of premature death by calming your blood vessels, regulating your metabolism, and defusing inflammation, magnesium would be it. It's the biochemical equivalent of a seasoned diplomat, cool under pressure, well connected across systems, and constantly putting out fires before anyone notices. One of the most compelling roles of magnesium is its ability to reduce systemic inflammation, a root driver of nearly every modern chronic disease. Low magnesium status has been repeatedly associated with higher levels of C-reactive protein, CRP, the body's go-to biomarker for inflammation. Think of CRP as your immune system's version of the emergency broadcast signal. It goes up when things are wrong, particularly in the blood vessels. And here's the thing. Even modest elevations in CRP are linked to higher risks of heart disease, stroke, insulin resistance, and mortality. So, what happens when you restore magnesium levels? CRP levels often drop. A meta-analysis of randomized controlled trials showed that magnesium supplementation, especially in individuals with low baseline levels or high inflammation, can significantly reduce CRP. This is likely because magnesium inhibits nuclear factor kappa B, NF-B, a key transcription factor that drives the expression of pro-inflammatory cytokines. It also stabilizes immune cell membranes and modulates oxidative stress, helping to keep the inflammatory thermostat from creeping up. But magnesium doesn't stop at calming immune flare-ups. It also has a direct hand in blood pressure regulation, which is another major player in the mortality game. Magnesium acts as a natural calcium channel blocker, relaxing smooth muscle in the blood vessel walls and reducing vascular resistance. Numerous studies have shown that even modest increases in magnesium intake, whether through diet or supplements, can lower both systolic and diastolic blood pressure, especially in hypertensive individuals. It's not a pharmaceutical replacement, but it's definitely a natural assist. Then there's metabolic syndrome, the cluster of dysfunctions: high blood sugar, abdominal obesity, high triglycerides, low HDL, and elevated blood pressure that turns your bloodstream into a cardiovascular time bomb. Magnesium is involved in over 300 enzymatic reactions, many of which touch insulin signaling, glucose transport, and fat metabolism. Low magnesium levels make insulin receptors less responsive, leading to higher glucose levels, more fat storage, and, you guessed it, greater inflammation. Magnesium also affects adipokine production, influencing how fat cells communicate with the immune system. In short, low magnesium equals more metabolic noise. High magnesium equals metabolic harmony. And here's where things get personal. Most people don't get enough magnesium. Even in developed countries, the average intake falls short of the recommended dietary allowance, RDA. That's partly because magnesium is stripped from processed foods and partly because chronic stress, caffeine, alcohol, and certain medications, like proton pump inhibitors or diuretics, increase magnesium excretion. Aging also reduces absorption, meaning older adults, already at higher risk for inflammation, high blood pressure, and metabolic disorders, are more likely to be magnesium deficient just when they need it most. But let's not forget the mortality connection. Several large-scale cohort studies, including the NANS and ERIC studies, have found that higher magnesium intake is associated with reduced risk of cardiovascular mortality, sudden cardiac death, and all-cause mortality. The mechanism is likely multifactorial: less inflammation, better blood pressure control, more stable glucose metabolism, and a calmer cardiovascular system overall. Of course, balance matters. Too much supplemental magnesium, especially in poorly absorbed forms, can cause digestive issues. Read, magnesium citrate plus long road trips equals regret. The most effective and bioavailable forms tend to be magnesium glycinate, magnesium malate, and magnesium threonate, the latter also showing promise for brain health. But for most people, the safest first step is through food. Leafy greens, nuts, seeds, legumes, dark chocolate, and whole grains are all rich sources. And don't underestimate magnesium-rich water. Some mineral waters can contribute meaningfully to your daily intake. So, is magnesium a magic bullet? Not quite. But it is one of the few nutrients that intersects inflammation, metabolism, and vascular health so directly and so consistently that increasing your intake could literally shift your trajectory toward a longer, healthier life. especially when the modern diet and lifestyle seem determined to deplete it. Restoring magnesium isn't just a good idea, it's a quiet act of biological rebellion. And in a world where high-sodium snacks, sedentary habits, and constant cortisol are out to hijack your health, magnesium might just be the calm, steady hand your cardiovascular system has been waiting for.